Hi, how are you? Welcome to my page. Thanks for joining me tonight. This is Frosty the snowman. He's just a little guy, but we are going to use some Posca paint pens tonight to paint him because he's so small, and I think that will be just perfect. We're going to make us a little shelf sitter. Okay, so come hang out and let's see what we can make together, okay? So I'm going to begin at the beginning, of course. And let's see. Let's see if I can type this. All right, keyword is Frosty, okay? I'm gonna use my new, hi Deborah. Hi Sandra, hi Stephanie, how are you ladies? Thanks for joining me. Hi Mom, how are you feeling? I hope better. Y'all, I feel horrible. I got my mom sick. It's really not my fault. It's actually Chris's fault that my mom's sick because he brought it home to me. But I still feel horrible. Even though really it's her own fault because she wanted to do laundry. I told her that's what you get for doing laundry. Just do like I do and wait so long to do it that then Chris starts doing it. All right, so I'm just using a white paint pen on this, on my snowman, and then we're gonna color the rest of his pieces. He's kind of big to use a paint pen on, but I figured if I'm using only paint pens tonight and I don't have to wash any any tools other than a squeegee, then I'm doing really, really good. Hi Melissa, hi Kathy, hey Becky, welcome ladies. So, oops, oh my gosh, y'all. I keep on getting stuck to this thing. All right. So tell me what y'all did today. Me and Chris, I told y'all yesterday that we had a bunch of trees taken down in our yard. And it is a mess out there right now. But today we went and tackled the front yard and we pulled all those trees in, all of the wood. And we actually had one of our neighbors stop by while we were out there who said, hey, do y'all want all that wood? Ooh, fun, Sandra. I haven't been to Hobby Lobby in too long. I need to go. He stopped by and he said, hey, are y'all keeping all that wood? What are y'all doing? And we're like, no, please come get it. And so him and his son came over. We only probably moved about half of it before he came by. And he said, okay, me and my son will be back with our trailer and we'll come get it. And so we had told him, like, hey, we have a bunch more in the backyard if you're interested. Because we don't have a wheelbarrow. All we have is this little, like, rolling cart thing that works fine for, like, other stuff. But, I mean, it's way too small. Ooh, I'm going to use this orange one for his nose. It's glitter. Hi, Cheryl. How are you? Yeah, I figured that Dad wouldn't be doing laundry. That's funny, though. Even imagining it. So, I don't know that I've ever seen him do dishes either. And it always surprises me because he's at the deer lease, or the ranch, a lot by himself. And so that means that he does have to cook and do dishes. But I just can't, for the life of me, I can't imagine it because I've never seen it before, ever. Never seen the man wash a dish ever in his lifetime. Okay, so there's my little carrot nose. It's glitter. I'm obsessed with these pens. These are the glitter ones. They came in, like, there was purple and pink and green and that orange. I think that was pretty much all of the blue. There's a blue one. Ooh, there's a blue one. I'm reconsidering. So, I also have this blue one I'm going to use for the name Frosty. Hi, Sue. How are you? Hi, Brooke. Yay! Good. I'm glad you got it ordered. So yeah, the shadow boxes are live on my website now. They were supposed to come out with a launch, but they weren't quite ready. So if you haven't gotten yours, y'all, go get it. And they also have replaceable surfaces in them. So you can actually switch them out, so you don't have to buy a new one for every time that you want to change out your design on it. They have white ones and they have brown backgrounds. So go check that out. And also, if you haven't looked at it yet, there are a bunch of retired autumn designs that are back just until the end of the month. So if you miss it, you're going to miss it, okay? And they're all on sale, 50% off. And I think that those new colors, the saffron, the hay pumpkin, and what's the other one? Moss. Those are also on sale right now. I believe they are, I don't know if they're also 50% off, but I saw that they were on sale as well. Just to the end of the month, and I don't know how long those transfers are going to last because there's some good ones. Like that, Love You More Than Pumpkin Anything is out there. The Oh My Gourd, I Love Fall, which I love. Okay, so that's the metallic blue. Oh God. Really liking that one. Let's see, what other metallic colors did I get? I'm loving these. These are all the new Posca pins that I got, and really, really liking them. So we're gonna do a green scarf for my guy. Let's see if I can move this over here so I can keep from getting too stuck to this. All right. So yeah, that's what we did today, and y'all, it was difficult for me, and for Chris. It's so hot still. It's like the first day of fall was this past Friday, I believe. Or yeah, I think it was Friday. But it is still stinking hot outside. And also, like, I have reduced lung capacity because of COVID. And I had to take frequent breaks. Luckily, those guys pulled up and said that they wanted to take that wood because I'm like, yes, please, for the love of God, get it out of here. I don't even want it. You know, as much as I want to burn a bonfire, I don't want to haul that wood. And oh, that's what I was saying. We have this cart and we can only put like, the logs are huge, okay? We could put like 2 or 3 logs on it at a time. And when you have 15 trees, y'all, there's about 3,000 logs out there that need to be hauled out to the back. Hi, Paula. How are ya? Welcome. Thank you for joining me. That was the metallic green, and I love that. Love it, love it. I love it a lot. This one is just a plain red, and I wish I had a metallic red, and I would use that, but I do not. So we're going to use this for the heart. There's a metallic pink in there, but I think we're going to go with the red anyways. Just Hi, Elizabeth. Welcome. Thanks for joining me. I love this red color. It's so pretty. These are Posca pens. If you've never tried them before, y'all, they are amazing. You can color so pretty with them. And literally super easy. Thank you for sharing for me. I appreciate you. I'm going to go over my Frosty one more time. Now that he's dry, and hopefully this will be a final layer. But I'm actually thinking that I might need to, you know, I said I wasn't going to do this, but I think I'm going to because, hi Mary! This pen is, okay, here's the deal, okay? This little Frosty is just a little big to be coloring in with a paint pen, I'm realizing now. Because it leaves kind of lines on bigger items, and I want it to be smooth. So we're gonna go ahead and just do what I said I didn't want to do with paint. But at least I don't need a color tray or a brush or anything like that to do this. I become so lazy in my crafting. I don't want to clean up anything ever. Okay, that's pretty decent coverage. I think that's good. And then we can come back and take care of his mouth with a black pen. And I also have the silver one, y'all. There's a silver. It's so exciting. I love these pens. I'm a pen fanatic anyways, and marker. I love markers and pens. Always have. Like, school supplies were always, that was my favorite time of the year, was whenever I got to go buy new school supplies. Either in high school, in like elementary and everything, and all the way to college. Like, buying new notebooks and pens and all that stuff for college was also extremely exciting for me. Okay, so I'm just using the silver one for this snowflake, and I think that is perfection. And then I've got this little button down here too. I have a black one. I'm using all the new ones. I have older ones, but I have the new ones right out in front of me, so I'm using them. I do store them. Let me show you too. I use this like little Tupperware thing. I store them cap side up, okay? I've heard that you're not supposed to lay them flat to store or pen down because the ink will leak. So keep that in mind whenever you're storing these, that you don't want them leaking all over the place, okay? And then I'm gonna go over his nose one more time just to reinforce this orange. I could have probably painted it white and then done it, but 2 layers will work for a lighter color like this. That's perfect. And you keep the, there's like, let me see if I can hold this up. There's like score lines on it. I don't know if you can see that on the nose. So that way it holds those intact, okay? Now I'm gonna start pulling all these pieces off of here after, I need to dry a couple of them, but most of it appears to be dry. But the ones that I just completed, I need to make sure that they're really dry. Specifically, my snowflake, my heart was not quite dry either. And the nose. And the heart, apparently. Okay. So yeah, after those guys showed up, I was able to come in and take a shower, and then I took a nap, which was the perfect day for me. A little bit of labor and a long nap. I do need to go to Hobby Lobby though at some point in the very near future. Okay. If nothing else, just to be inspired, you know? I love going there, just walking around, seeing what they have. Because I can usually find stuff that I'm like, ooh, I need to make something like that. Or just get ideas, you know? Okay, so for my snowman, I'm just going to take him and a little 220 sanding block and just sand him just a little bit. And then that's not the right pen. And then I'm going to dot him, his eyes, and just draw over the score lines for his mouth, okay? So you get that. okay? And then this is the transfer we're going to use on the small 5x7 palette sign, okay? And I pulled out Shimmer Olive. So basically, let me see if I can fuzz this really quick. We're going to use the floral or the leaves off of this on the background for our little Frosty the Snowman. And then we can attach him to the board, and then we'll have our little shelf sitter, okay? So I'm just gonna take my transfer and stick it down right here at the top. So there's leaves on the top and bottom of this transfer. So we're gonna do the top part first. And I don't have, like I said, all of my tools and stuff are in there. I washed them last night, so they're all in my kitchen at the moment. I have this little tiny one that I made. I cut a mini squeegee in half. That will work just fine. So yeah, you can do that, by the way. Take small squeegees, cut them in half. Mini squeegees, cut them in half to make yourself a little bit of a smaller tool to use so that you don't have such big ones. And it gives you more. Oops. So this is Shimmer Olive. I love this color. I'm gonna just set that for a second. So there's my first part, okay? And then I'm gonna dry this and we're gonna do the bottom also, I think. And we're gonna cover this up a little bit with our Frosty, but you'll still be able to see it. So it'll be cute. And I have some distressing ink too that I pulled out, so we can use that as well on the board once we get everything, the transfer on here. Make sure it's good and dry, and then come back and I'll just took out my eye with that thing. Put the second bottom half on the bottom part. And I did put the paper down just so I'm not laying my dirty transfer over my design. But you do want to make sure that your design on the board is really good and dry before you do that, okay? So, but that's a good way to keep from spreading paste all over the place, or ink or whatever. And you can easily wash the backer sheet if you need to. I use a board eraser all the time on mine. On my backer sheets, like especially whenever I use a big D size and I keep it on the transfer sheet, I'll just wash it with a board eraser. Not like with a bunch of water or anything, but that way it takes the paste off of it. Alright, so I'm going to just make sure that this is really, really dry. And then we're going to go back to our Frosty and finish him up, get everything put together on here, and then we'll be done. And that's it. Easy, easy. Alright, I'm going to set that to the side and get my, I have my little blush, and you know I gotta blush up his cheeks because really loving that effect. Okay. There we go. Perfect little pink cheeks. And I'm gonna just set everything on here, and then we can start gluing it together. Okay. All right, so I've got my glue gun hot already. Now you could use something else if you like. These pieces are kind of small, so you might want to use a different type of glue. But as long as you just don't use a ton, it should be fine. Y'all, I just had a piece of glue fly onto me. Okay, here we go. Okay. Y'all, he is so cute. Look how cute he is. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then the little heart. Right there on his little scarf. And then I do want to use this distressing ink on here. So I have this little dauber. I don't know how well this is gonna work, but this is Vintage Photo, or it's, yeah, Vintage Photo, the color. So it's kind of a yellowish, but definitely going around the edges really good. Kind of blending it in to the center. And then lightly across the whole thing. Okay, just to give it a little bit of a sort of vintage look. So it's not just brand new, you know? Kind of curve those corners so they're not so sharp. There we go. Perfect. And I kind of want to darken it just a little bit. Around the edge. So I'm taking the ink pad and just applying it directly, okay, just on the edge. And then I can kind of blend that out just a little so it's not like a line around the edge. Okay, so there's my little thing, and now now we can start placing our little Frosty guy right here front and center. And I am going to use my tacky glue. Oh, fun! I hope they have a great time. I didn't realize that we had NASCAR races going on this weekend. But I hope they have a fabulous time here. I'm sure they will. There's so much stuff to do here in town. I mean, I say here. It's like a whole nother state. I'm so far away from, like, probably where they are. I don't know where exactly it is, but okay. So stick that on really well, and then I am going to hot glue my actual Frosty on. And I have my little... So again, you can comment the word Frosty to get the supplies to make this. Super easy little guy on the palette sign, and I think he turned out pretty darn good. What do y'all think? So make sure that you love this post, that you share me with your friends, tell everyone about me. Hi Marie, how are you? Thank you all for joining me. I hope that you have a great rest of your weekend, and I hope you love my little Frosty guy. Love y'all. Have a nice night.